again, my name is Will. Been at Colorado to do this Go Diamond call on June 12th. Today's Wednesday, and I'm privileged to be asked to do that, and yet I hear all of the names that come on this line, and many of you will be able to do a much better job than I do, and again, I just feel fortunate to be asked, and basically, when I do the calls, I love to just share real stories, and I got to give a little bit of an introduction of myself. There's new people on the line every week. Egypt is growing tremendously, and so again, my wife Jill and I live in Thurber, Ohio. It's a small community of about 18,000 people, and I have been in the medical field for 30 years. I run a medical company where we set up equipment in the homes. We do CPAP and CPAP equipment and supplies and all the different things that you would need to recuperate to help you at home. For 30 years, I've been trying to help people, and one of the phrases that we coined was able to, for 30 years, keep people on life support, and now all of a sudden I've got a product that supports life, and I don't take that lightly. I really mean when I say that we support life. There's tremendous stories. I do this for the stories, folks. It's amazing. I just came back from Atlanta, Georgia. Had 3 different meetings from Thursday through Saturday. Had the opportunity to do a presentation, talk about our wonderful product and company, the leadership for our church. We actually was able to go up after the message, and the folks just sat there for another 45 minutes, asked questions, and heard about our wonderful dream that we have in our hands. And being a Christian and the Christians on the line, you know what? Nothing is an accident in a Christian's life. Everything's an appointment. And lo and behold, I go do this presentation, and we are now open in the country of Nigeria, and we're shipping product to Nigeria, and I was able to do a presentation to a church with Nigerians in it. The pastor is from Nigeria, and I felt like I was preaching a little bit because I was talking about that wonderful firm foundation that Zeta has built over the last 6-7 years. We talked about a wonderful plant that is in the book of Exodus that changes bitter water to sweet, and people can drink it today. They still purify their waters in Africa. And I asked the congregation, I said, does anybody here know where your pastor is originally from? And of course they did, and I said, you know what? It's no coincidence. It's not an accident that I'm here tonight. It's divine appointment. And we had a training on Saturday morning, and we had 5 people show up from the service, and 3 more have called me since. And that distributor down there that we were doing that for, she'll get quite a few people into her business just from being willing to go and share that. Talk about doing something great. I have a couple guys on the line with me today, but when you talk about doing something great, again, I want you to think 3 weeks of intentional growth. The next 3 weeks are going to be key. And in the next 3 weeks, if you do the work, if you do the things that we know to do as far as our system is concerned, and you follow it, and you get out and you work, you're going to be able to say in the fall, leading up into convention in October, you're going to be able to say that you have something great. A lot of people on this line are going to be able to look back over the next 3 weeks, and I'll get to that at the end of the call, but the next 3 weeks, I call it the 3 weeks of intentional growth as far as our team is concerned. And the first point I want to make is when you're doing something great, we're going to talk about dreaming a dream. You know that? You can't talk about this business without talking about a dream. Second thing is discover yourself. And development. And that's the one thing I will say, that this industry, this business, is more professional than a lot of traditional businesses because of the fact that they really expect people to become better individuals and make our communities better. So personal development. And then the third point we're going to talk about is determined to pay the price. And you know what, when you dream a dream, it's everybody here has had a dream in you at one time. A lot of you may have never been able to share that dream. Maybe you were embarrassed. It's still in you, but you've never been able to use the dream that you have in you. Some of us will never, ever, ever do anything about that dream. And that's going to be the shame when we get to the end of our lives and we have a dream that we wanted to do something and we never even shared it. We never did anything to accomplish that dream. And again, in the life of a Christian, big dreams, they bring about prayer. And if you're not praying, you're not going to accomplish your dreams. And the fact that dreams are within us, you'll never accomplish a dream unless you work. Because dreams don't work unless you do. And so the point is, why will some of us never do anything to bring about this dream within us? Because we've never been willing to take the risk. And that's point number 2. You've got to discover yourself. And I have done more discovering of who I really am since I've been in Egypt than the first 30 years that I've been in business. And the point is, if you're not willing to take the risk, you know what? You're going to wake up someday and you're going to be found holding the bag. I mean, they did a study. I shared this a few weeks ago. They did a study of 80 and 90-year-olds. And they asked them, what's the one point in your life that you can look back at and give advice to people? And the biggest majority, the largest number of answers was simply, I wished I would have taken more risk. When you take risk, don't ask me to explain it. I don't know if it's a chemical thing. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know what it is. But when you take a risk, you watch people that come into this business, sign up, and actually take a risk. They go for the 1320, and we know that is, they're stretching themselves, and we know the benefit of doing that, but the new person doesn't understand that yet, but they're taking a risk, a lot of times based on what you're presenting. And when they take that risk, something happens inside of them. Something changes. There's a switch that goes off. I mean, you think different. And how many people on this line have come in, been able to just take a look at this business, do the status quo, do whatever it takes to get by, but really have never stepped out and taken a risk? You're missing a big part of discovering yourself because you've never taken a risk. Something happens mentally. And you know what? You got to share your dream. And you take a risk, you got to share it. You know, if you want to be diamond in 2 years, if you want to be diamond in 6 months, let's start with the smaller levels first. Let's be realistic. But you know, let's share that dream that you want to be diamond. But remember, prepare for the doubters. Because there's people that are going to try to pull you down. There's people that don't want you to get ahead of them. They're going to be doubting everything that you say. You know, I go back to the story of David and Goliath. And David, I mean, the phrase that I love most about David, you know, here's a young guy, shepherd boy, taking care of the sheep. He's used to the big warriors coming back and sharing their, you know, victories. And, man, I killed this many people, or we did this. And, you know, he's always out taking care of the sheep. And David walks into the camp and says, "What's up?" And they say, "Well, look at that giant over there." And David says, "So? Who's going to take care of him?" And they're all shaking. I mean, I'm telling you, David walks in, and the phrase he uses is there not a cause? And then he says, "I think I just ought to do something about this." You see, and that's where we need to be. Is there not a cause? We often talk about what's your why. And if your why makes you cry, going to grow. You're going to do this thing, but until you have a why that makes you cry, you're probably just going to be status quo. Well, it's the same phrase. Is there not a cause? And so, you know what? I'm to the point where I signed up a lot of people in the first year. We went to Diamond in 10 months, and all because of the team. Not because of me, but because of the team. We got to that level. But I don't want any more application, folks. I don't want any more applications. Now, I know that sounds weird for a business, a person that's actually trying to grow his business and put applications in the system and put them in there and sign them up. No, I don't want any more applications. I want commitments. And when we can get commitments from people, now we're going to start helping other people discover themselves. And then here's a nice little phrase that I love to use: praise, though it all depends on God, but work is though it all depends on me. You see, it does all depend on God, but it all depends on me. So it's whatever you look at, how you look at it. But once again, pray as though it all depends on God, and work as though it all depends on me. And so when I say no more applications, only commitments, you know what? I ask people, and then I get this from other ones. I mean, I don't come up with anything new. I just steal everybody's thoughts and sayings and their ideas. And so I love the fact that when I get somebody on the product, they must commit to 3 months before they even think about dropping out or think that it's not working for them. And then I've often heard 1 year in this business is the minimum to be able to take a look at the business. And I'll tell you what, I've seen people in this 1 year, and then after a year, if they drop out, they're still missing out. I mean, I don't know what the right length of time to give this thing, but I think it's more like 3 to 5 years if you ask me before you even start seeing the benefits. Yeah, there's some people coming in now with downlines that are getting rank advancements in an extraordinary time, but I'm telling you, for the people that are building this business, 3 to 5 years might be realistic. It's kind of like a baby's eyesight. When you look at a newborn baby, you have to be within 13 inches of their eyes for them to even be able to see a vision, to see an outline. They can only see 13 inches. After 6 months, it's 5 times that way. And after 1 year, a baby has full eyesight. Isn't that amazing that that's pretty much what we have with Zebra International? You come into this industry, man, you know, I can't see very far. There was a lot of rough edges people had to brush off. And, 6 months down the road, my sight was a little bit more. I could see a little bit more of the compensation plan, understand a little more about the product. I could see what was going for me and my family. And then all of a sudden, 1 year, and I've got a pretty good picture of how this thing operates, and I know a lot more now than I did when I first came into this. So keep that in mind. We want commitments from people, but people want commitments from us too. And so once you discover yourself, now you come to point number 3. You can determine to pay the price. You can't pay the price unless you discover yourself first. But it all starts with a dream. So point number 3, determine to pay the price. How about winning your small victories first? Again, I don't talk to people about making $1 million a year. I talk to people right where they live. I ask questions and then I listen. You have to listen. And when they tell me, Mom would like to stay home and raise the kids and not have to go outside the house and work, you know what? That takes another $800 a month income. Can we do that through Zija? I don't want to talk to that woman, that man, about $1 million a year income. Let's just see what we have as far as their needs. Maybe somebody wants to move from an apartment to a house. Maybe they just need another $400 income. Hey, tell me what you need, and here's how we can help you. So when you look at winning your small victories first, that's the new distributors, man, they've got to go to the different events out there, the rank advancements. Let's get them to the because it's never about you and your abilities. It's all about the team. So let's all just have a good old time, celebrate, and then we go back to work. So when you look at you and your abilities, there's nothing that we can really take credit in. And so when you're determined to pay the price, you're working hard. But you know what? You do it so people know that it took the team to accomplish this. Actually, another way that I like to put it, build something so successful that only God can take credit for. You know what? We shouldn't take credit for anything. And I'll go a step further. You know what? The team needs to take credit for anybody's success on this line. A lot of times that's where we, kind of get in trouble. We get to the point where we've been a little bit successful and we forget how we got there. Always remember your history. I've got a couple guys on the line. I've got Justin Higginbotham from Columbus, Ohio, and I've got Mitch Latz from Myrtle Beach. And what's so cool about those two guys is Justin went out of his comfort zone, reached out to Mitch down in Myrtle Beach, and what he found out was Mitch is a guy that's determined or more determined than Justin is about getting this business off and going. So both those guys and their families have taken a vacation this week, and they're actually working in Myrtle Beach. And Justin, have you joined us?
I have, Willie. Can you hear me all right?
I sure can. You know what? Just knowing the different things that we're talking about today and, where you are right now in your career with Zija, maybe just share some of the ideas about what you've heard this morning.
You know what? Well, first of all, I just want to thank you for your leadership. I really don't know where I would be within this company without your help. So, thank you for all you do, and thanks again for allowing me to share. The one point that you were talking about this morning, I felt like it was directed, right at me, and that point was developing yourself. The first year I was in this business, I kind of came in and did Zija undercover, you might say. I had a fear of failure, fear of rejection, didn't really know what I was doing, didn't really invest in myself like I should have. And, I came to the end of that first year and I wasn't where I wanted to be. And I knew that, for things to change for me, I had to change something, and that was getting into personal development and working on myself harder than I was on my business. And, I wasn't a fast success story, but, the things that I've overcome in the past few months, the barriers I've been able to break through, it's all been worth it for me. And the one thing I knew is the only way to get over, all this fear is to take action. So, and about 3 to 4 months ago, I really started taking daily consistent action. And at the beginning of those, 4 months, Mitch had always kind of been on my chicken list. He's been pretty successful down in here in Myrtle Beach. Didn't really know him a whole lot, and just kind of nervous to reach out to him. But I did one day, and he was definitely open. And it surprised me, and I was excited. And he ended up joining about a month later. And like you said, I've come to find out that I think he's just as, or maybe even a little bit more committed than I am. So that kind of keeps me on my toes. But he's been doing a great job down here building the business. So I wanted to get down in, here and help him build as fast as possible. So we've been just making, goals on how many people to call a day, how many meetings to set up, and we've just been working it and having fun. But I'm going to let him get on the line here and maybe share his story a little bit. But one quote I want to leave you with is, commitment means staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set it in has left you. And that's definitely been monumental for my business. But right now, I want to bring Mitch on the line. Mitch, are you there?
Sure, Justin.
Can you hear me, man? I can. Well, hey, how about you go ahead and just, share some of the experiences that you've been having the last month or so in this business, and just kind of share your story a little bit.
Sure will. Definitely appreciate that, Justin. I feel honored definitely to be a part of your team, and Willie, you too, as well. I just feel really blessed to have two great leaders that I can reach out to anytime and really look up to you guys a lot. But yeah, I appreciate you guys giving me a chance to talk. When Justin reached out to me maybe a little over a month ago, I was actually looking for other opportunities, and when he reached out and shared this with me, I mean, I almost felt like it was perfect timing when I looked at the company and really just kind of jumped in with him. And what I've learned here at the beginning is just how really just committed you have to be and the work it's going to take to build this business. But I so believe in the vision and the direction of this company. And just in the last, like I said, 4 weeks meeting some of the leaders, other than Willie and Justin, I met Jerem, I met Greg Bibb, these guys that, are sharing and really teaching the vision to us. But, I realized quickly this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is, really got to come in here and look at this as a business. And it's going to take some time to build. So really just getting 100% committed to it. And just for even me, personal development, like Justin talked about, getting over fears. And one of the favorite quotes I've heard is, fear will paralyze us, but faith and belief will propel us. I think so many times we get caught up in how our feelings, and this is how I feel, and they will deceive you every time. We must make the decision of basically deciding where we're going to go. And I think, and that starts with daily goal setting. I mean, I kind of compare everything to working out and health. I've done an Ironman. I'm a triathlete. And really setting goals, because I'll tell you, your feelings, again, I said, will deceive you. You have to have a goal you're chasing out. When that alarm clock goes off at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, get up. If I don't have something I'm running after, something I'm chasing after a goal, my feelings will deceive me and keep me in that bed. It's the same thing, same idea. Let's create goals, let's create short-term, long-term, and really just, run after this together and do it as a team. But I'm so honored to be a part of this opportunity and really appreciate, everything that's going on and with Justin and Willie and Kevin helping me here. But just remember, faith propels us, fear will paralyze us, overcome them obstacles. Thank you, Willie and Justin.
Thank you, Justin. Thanks, Mitch, a lot. We'll get you guys your own call here pretty soon. Great job. And, folks, that's why I look at this as the regular season. We work with people during the regular season. Regular season, we're trying to find out the players, who's going to do the best. And, we get experience working with each other. If it's a basketball team, if it's baseball, it doesn't matter, football. We have a regular season, and then all of a sudden we hit the playoffs. And wait till we hit the playoffs with some of our team members. As we get to know them better, we get to work with them, and as we grow individually each other. Great job. And when you hear Mitch's story on the product and the different things that he's been through, you'll be amazed. We'll share that another time. What I want to do now is, in the last couple minutes here, is really get your mindset for the next 3 weeks, because I think this is going to be the most critical point in your business. In 3 weeks, they're going to announce a new incentive from the company. And what I'm calling this is, it's got to be the next 3 weeks. We've got to drive our business. And I think there's 3 objectives that I'm going to do, and I'm going to share with our team leaders. And that is, number 1, we need to enroll people on a weekly basis. Enroll 1 new person this week and get somebody next week and then the following week. You need to enroll, and the reason you do that, have that enrollment mindset. As leaders, we need to be showing our people what we expect them to be doing. And so we need to enroll new people. The second thing is, we got to get them their first 2 in the first week. If we can get people their
first 2 people in the first week, that's going to set you up for some growth. That's going to set them up. And the third thing, and we've got a lot of people that believe in preferred customers, we've got a lot of people that believe in distributors. I kind of believe in both. They both help you build your business. But the third thing I want us to think of as leaders, we need to create a culture of enrolling with better systems. And the reason I say that, because the promo, the incentive that's coming, it does relate a lot to the packages that we have as distributors. And what I look at is the higher the enrollment package, the higher the incentive money on the table. So you get somebody coming in at a higher package, a number 2 system, they're going to be able to gain more from that, and it's going to drive their income even higher. And I think we've got to be creating a massive story of duplication. So again, over the next 3 weeks, we want to be driving our businesses, try to get into some kind of massive duplication, and it will pay off right now. If you work hard the next 3 weeks, when they announce the incentive, you will be set to really drive yourself into the fall and up the convention. There's going to be a lot of new people hitting new ranks, and the reason is we as leaders are taking control, we're taking the leadership of our teams, and we're going to drive that over the next 3 weeks. So just in closing, next 3 weeks especially, let's go ahead and take a risk, come out of our comfort zone, work harder than any other person, get up early, go to bed late, study, and build relationships. Matter of fact, let's just get up and discover who you really are. Get up and discover yourself. Anybody on the monitor line that would like to share something, I want to thank you folks for being attentive and for coming to the call this morning. Anybody? The lines are open. Thank you.